Right, shalom to the Lord's elect. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Bahawah Kakudash. A double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone who rule and well, who taught me this truth through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, and the Bahawah Kakudash. And honors to you, brothers, pushing this word and sharing the truth throughout the four corners of the earth that we were scattered. We are consistent of the Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, who are Israelites. Israelites are the Lord's chosen people, peculiar people, holy people, meaning he gave us a set of rules, guidelines, laws, statutes, commandments that we ought to follow, which make us separate, from the rest of the nations. All right. But due to us breaking those laws, statutes, commandments, Heavenly Father, we have been scattered amongst the earth, literally cast throughout the whole planet Earth. All right. And we have confusion of face Israelites, meaning Israelites look like the elder nations due to the fact of mingling, right? But let's get to the scriptures, right? Because just a little here. Just let's just read Romans 1:24 says, "Wherefore Most High also gave them up to uncleanness through the lusts of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause the Most High gave them up to vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature." This is talking about what we now call the elemental P community. Excuse me. The LGBYT community, XYZ, ECT. All right. And these churches out here, okay, don't speak against this. Okay, the so-called churches, quote unquote churches. Okay, because we know the true church is a body of men. Okay. Um, but it says for this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affections. Right. So due to um, you know, uh, due to due to iniquity, which is sin upon sin after sin after sin. You know what I'm saying? The Most High gave, 2/3 in the rest of the nations, but really just the 2/3, because the rest of the nations, only the Israelites were given the law, statutes, commandments. But the Most High gave them up into foul affections. And it says, for even their women did change their natural use into that which is against nature, right? So, lesbianism is nothing new here in America, but you still have our people, you know, some say they're not, but they don't speak against it. And it says, verse 27, and likewise also the men leaving their natural use of the women burned in their lust one toward another, men with men working that which is unseemly, okay, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. Yeah, so you got men sleeping with men, okay. This is just one reason and one way we know that we're in the last days. Okay? We've been in the last days since Yahweh Shah, you know, rose off that cross. Okay, but how much more now? Okay, where they're actually legalizing it and it's all good. Okay, and it's vexing. You know, it's vexing. It's vexing to have to know that your son was around some madness, or being held or being touched by some madness. Yeah, okay, because people carry vibrations, and then these people uh, don't speak against the LGBT. You know what I'm saying? If they don't speak against it, it's like they're for it. They're not gonna speak against it. You know what I'm saying? But this is Second Ezra chapter 15. It says verse 7. No, I'm gonna start with verse 6. It says, "For wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." Verse 7. "Therefore said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually." Right? Because in the scriptures, it always talks about. Here, let's get that scripture right fast. In Amos, you know how you know the righteous or the saints, you know, long story short, the elect, because it's all about the elect, are signing crime uh for the abominations that be done in the midst of. Salakia. Okay, but what's happening right now is, you know, as I found the scripture, the Lord Yahweh Shem Rashad is setting a thawa, okay, a thawa on the elect of the nation of Israel, okay. That thawa, right, is is an is a Hebrew word for a mark of exemption, okay. Uh, Not the charagma, okay. Um, Unlike the charagma will be accepted by majority of the world, but the tawah will only be for the elect and the men and the 1/3 men, women, and children. Okay, sigh, sigh, and cry. Right. So, Salakia, I was talking about Amos, and now I'm gonna pick up my voice because these niggas is cutting grass out here. But it's talking about Ezekiel 9:4. So it says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem. Now Jerusalem is talking about a people before a place. Okay, it's talking about the Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And it says, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Now, who's the only ones, you know, sighing and crying through bringing the scriptures out, okay, about the unjust, okay, the uh, the unrighteous decrees and the laws that the so-called white man has pushed, okay, and forced and oppressed upon our people. Okay, it's only the Israelites. Okay, so I'm gonna read it again. It says Ezekiel 9:4. It says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark. Now look up this word mark, Hebrew H8420. It says a desire, a mark. It says a mark set, a mark as a sign of exemption from judgment. All right. It says upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of. And to the others he said in that mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. All right. And let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. So what's gonna happen to the rest of the people who's, you know, accepting all forms of wickedness and not speaking against it? Okay, hey, if the Lord don't have that mark of exemption, you know, preordained for you and your family, you're gonna get slaved, and that's the cold reality to it. All right, it says, and to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. So, you know, the men of the Lord are gonna get busy in that day, man, and there ain't gonna be no pity, no sympathy, no none of that. All right. Um, verse 6 says, slay utterly old and young. Okay, let me pause there and get one of these scriptures right fast. I think it's Isaiah. Let me get two scriptures here in Isaiah. This is the first one. So this is why, you know, you have the apostles and elders at week in and week out that are pushing, you know, heavy the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh, because that time is soon coming. All right. And before they, you know, they cut this, you know, the internet down, before they cut the free speech and all this, you know what I'm saying, before we go into that heavy, okay, that heavy time of judgment, okay, you're gonna have the men out there that's prophesying against the 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 the, the empire, okay, just like, okay, like old days, ancient days, okay, every time before an empire went down, you know, you had the prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahweh prophesy against it. All right. So this is Isaiah 58. Here, we'll let you follow along on here too. It's Isaiah 58. Sheesh. Isaiah 58 and 1. It says, cry aloud and spare not. Yeah, they will not spare not again, okay? Let's lift up thy voice like a trumpet and shew my people in transgression. And again, the Lord's people are consisting of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians who are Israelites. Okay, show their transgression and the house of Jacob their sins. Right, this is all about the house of Jacob. Okay, uh, says yet they seek me daily and delight to know my ways as a nation that did righteousness and forsook not the ordinance of their power. They asked of me the ordinances of justice. They take delight in approaching to the Most High. Okay. Um. This is Isaiah 60:1. It says, "Arise, Sean." Let's look up this word Sean right here. H215. It says to be, to become or become light. Sean, called to become light day, to shine of the sun, to become bright, to be illuminated, to become lightened up, to give light, shine, sun, moon, and stars, to illuminate light, to cause shine, to kindle light, kindle wood, lighten of the eyes, is the Lord to make shine of the face. Alright. Alright, so it says, arise, shine, for that light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. It says, verse 2, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth. Yeah, and that's what you see right now, darkness. Okay? Because the people are complete and docile and have strong illusions that believing to be a homosexual of any type, form, of fashion is acceptable. Okay? And they don't speak against it. And that's darkness, man. That has no light in it. It says, for behold, darkness shall cover the whole earth, and gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. Right. The Lord come back, man. The Lord come back, man. That's gonna be a great judgment for the ones who support, man. Who support the LGBTY, the gay movement, feminist movement. Okay? And all who oppose the word of Yahweh Shem Yahweh. Period, man. Great judgment for you. Okay? So that's why, Second Ezra's chapter 15 says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. Okay? Because everything that's gonna happen on the shores of America and the land of Israel has been prophesied. You know, and you have an elect that's not gonna get touched from it because they have that marker of exemption, that dawah. Okay? So with that, I'm say shalom and all praises glory due to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh. Um, Lord willing, it was edifying, and I'll be back soon. Shalom.